Good afternoon. I am Judge Deborah Thomas. I am so glad that you have tuned in with us today. I want to start by saying thank you to those of you who went to the polls on Tuesday, and while you were there, you gave me a vote. I've got a job again. Now, okay, and I appreciate it. You know, employment means income, and income means you can pay your bills. And that is what we're going to talk about today. My guest today is Sister Charlene, and we're going to talk about credit repair, credit restoration. How you doing?
I'm wonderful in yourself, and congratulations and welcome back.
Thank you, thank you. All right, now, credit restoration. People sometimes will lose a job. Sometimes they're laid off, and their income is reduced, even if they may or may not be getting unemployment. Sometimes they go through a divorce. Maybe they have a death of a spouse or something of this nature, and you can't pay everybody all the time on time. Well, how do we get out of this mess?
Well, sometimes we are sorry. Sometimes bad things just happen to good people.
Yeah.
So one credit restoration is one thing, but even in our program, we have a Ultra Score where they help you figure out how to properly budget so that you are working with limited resources and how to, send who what, and you put your interest rate and things like that so we can maintain the credit.
Okay.
But credit restoration is once we get into that situation, we have credit attorneys that work in the background to help us restore and repair the credit. What they do is they pull your credit report from all three agencies. None of them are in the United States, unfortunately: TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. And they look at the credit report and they evaluate it and see, did they legally give you this debt? Meaning sometimes as a business owner, it's less expensive for me to go ahead and give your debt to the creditor and have them start calling and harassing you versus them going to the court system and paying for judgments and things like that against you. If they did that, that debt is illegal and immediately comes off your credit report.
So if I understand what you're saying, when the debt, excuse me, is sold, and that's basically what they do. They
sell the debt.
They sell the debt to companies, and the only purpose of the company is to try to collect money from debt that has not been paid to other companies.
Right.
And the new company, say maybe, and just for example, maybe I owe $5,000 to, say, Sears.
Right.
And Sears sold it to ABC Collection Agency.
Right.
Now, ABC Collection Agency is calling me 8 times a day, every day.
Trying to harass you.
Yes.
Right. An ABC company, they'll call you and call you and call you until they get tired. And then what they do is they sell your debt to XYZ company.
And then they start calling.
Then they start calling you. And what happens is that technically some of these things are supposed to come off after a period of time. But, everything.
Now, when you say it comes off, okay, it comes off your credit report.
It's supposed to come off the credit report.
But do you still have to pay the money?
No, if they did not illegally process that debt, you're no longer liable for that debt.
So basically what you're saying is, if, just for example, say Sears didn't get a judgment against me.
Right, they didn't go through the proper channels to get this debt, they can't collect on a debt because they didn't even approach you legally. So that if they didn't approach you legally, there are still laws in debt collection. And if you don't abide by those laws, you're not liable for that debt.
So if once it's gotten, say, the ABC or XYZ, they're calling 8 times a day, the debt should not be on your credit report.
Right, that debt should not be there. It comes off.
Okay, and can ABC, XYZ, should they be calling?
They can. Should they be calling? No, but they can call because that debt was sold to them. So
I want to know how to get them to stop calling.
Yeah. Well, for one, you could block the numbers, and then they do have a block their numbers, and there's a website where you can go to and put the number in, and then that's like the scam or something like that.
Okay.
And they will stop calling you from there.
But the debt, because XYZ has this bill, maybe it's down now to $3,000. The $3,000 bill to XYZ is going to show up on the credit report.
It's going to show up on the credit report. And that blemishes and that hurts us because when we're trying to build our business, restore our lives, because bad things happen to good people, divorces, lose jobs, and things of that nature, that's when we get into the higher interest rates and we don't qualify for certain things. Our credit is very important, and we don't realize that even when they look at you from a standpoint, we have some people that pay their bills every month. It's
Yeah.
slow pay. So if you pay slow, that affects your interest rate. Um,
Do you? How long does it? I mean, sometimes you might have an emergency, and maybe you pay the bill 10 days late. Maybe, but you got it in there before it was due again. That's reflected on your credit
if
report.
they report it as slow pay, what we also have to do is what's called communication. Because if you're paying your bills, companies want you to pay your bills. You are their customer. You are still of value to them. Just call and explain the situation to them, and they may not report it as slow pay. Slow pay has to be habitual. You know,
Okay.
that has to be habitual.
So
You do
not
that
just
one or
one
two times. No,
time.
no,
Okay.
but it does affect, our credit. Our credit is looked at in one way. Whatever your debt is, let's just use some numbers. You have a $100,000 house,
Right.
and you have $50,000 in credit. Your debt that you owe between the two should be less than 30%.
Of
You
your
know,
income.
of that debt. Let's lose a $10,000 credit card. You have.
Okay.
If it's over $3,000,
Yes.
you're hurting your credit
Okay.
because it's affecting it. Every little thing that you do, we think buy, 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 buy. It affects your credit.
So even though they give you all
Oh,
this
they get,
money,
but see,
okay, that you can borrow,
right.
the higher
The-
your debt on that particular card
mhm.
really does, even if you're making that monthly payment.
Right. Even if you make, and then see, you just making a monthly payment. They make
Right.
their money off the interest.
And at the same token, because your debt is so high on the card,
hmm
it's really reducing your score.
It's reducing your score, and as you reduce your score, so the next time we got the credit card, now I need a new car because Bessie done went down. Now I'm in a higher interest rate bracket to get this new car, although I can get it, but I'm paying more for a car that ultimately I can pay less for if I manage and control my debt. And unfortunately, a lot of us we have bad credit and low credit scores.
Now, at one time, not that long ago, my credit score was considered impacted because I had no credit cards.
Yeah.
All right, and the folks told me that I needed to go get a credit
hmm
card because that would improve my
It wa-
score.
I thought I was a good mom. The children, they're going to school, they're going to college, they has no debt. They was like, Miss Muhammad, that's the worst thing you could have ever done. It's good to have credit, but get credit that you can manage. For example, maybe we buy gas. We all have cars, so we buy gas. Get a $500 gas card, your gas budget, charge that gas, and then pay that card off every month. That way you're maintaining the credit, you're building a credit score, and then you keep yourself credit worthy. And
Okay.
those are little things that we can do. But us, we the worst thing you can do is go get department store credit cards.
And that was the next thing I was going to ask you because you could have too many credit
You can have too
cards.
many credit cards, and then department store credit cards are not looked at from a credit entity as value because their department. The only thing you can do is buy what that department store has. What's valuable is your major credit cards, your Visas, your Mastercards, your American Express. Those are of value in building and maintaining your credit. Those department store credit cards are usually frowned upon because they have no real value, but what's at that store, and typically they have a higher interest rate, and they are designed for you to damage your credit.
So should you cut those up?
Pay them off and cut them up, and then get you a major credit card. We're not doing no commercials for none of them. And then
But you should have at
you
least
should
one,
you should have at least
apparently.
one.
Yeah.
And then you just buy what you need from there, and then just pay it off, and then try to be disciplined enough to only charge what you need to charge, and make sure that it's worth charging.
Because by the time you pay, sometimes there's a sale, and you don't have the cash on hand, so you want to run out and buy it because it's on sale.
Right.
But by the time you pay the interest on it,
You could have bought that 3 or 4 times.
you've lost the value of
Yeah,
buying
right.
it then on sale.
Right.
So you have to kind of think
Weigh it,
long term.
term, right.
Long term.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, also, credit, they're using credit scoring now when they decide what your insurance rate is going to be.
Insurance rate, and then your salaries now. You would be surprised that they're pulling your credit score to get a job.
Right? Oh, yes.
And that affects you. And why does that affect you? In various ways. Is that if you're not taking care of your business, how are you going to take care of mine? It depends on what industry you're going in. And then that also can reflect your salary. And we don't know these things because all these things are working in the background. And ours, we can fix it simply.
So if you got bad credit, you get less pay.
Maybe you could get less pay, you don't get the opportunity, you're getting that less pay, meaning that you can't get that job that you
Promotion.
qualify for. You get the step down job, which gives you the less pay.
Okay. All right.
Is
So
it
what does your company do?
Well-
How do your company help with all of
Well,
this?
what we do is we help with the credit restoration. We have protection financial. We protect your financial future, and we go in there and we do like a MyCare plan. And the MyCare plan is life essentials. Unfortunately, we're not prepared. It's a will and trust program that's within there. In the uncertainties of life, it helps you get it structured while we're here and have all our faculties. I'm saying, this is what I have, this is where I want it to go, this is what I want it to be done. And then the lifeline, while we're building this credit, we got to protect it. We got
Okay.
it. Identity theft is so prevalent now, and it's unreal. We get identity theft by the cell phones, by buying cars, and so the lifeline. that's a
Identity theft is, unless you have been there, you cannot imagine.
Right, and once it's done, it's so hard to reestablish
Oh.
because how dare you say I'm not me? How dare you say I did that? That's not me, and you become so defensive in that whole mental capacity that you have to work with and trying to get it done. So with this
And
program,
sometimes, when you go to these companies where these charges have been made or
Mm-hmm.
your account has been
Compromised,
filtered,
yeah.
folks don't want to give you your money back.
they don't want to give you your money back, and you have a hard time proving that that wasn't you. And as we're building the credit, we also have you can also build your credit with your own secure credit card, where it's just like a debit card. You're putting $200 on there, and you're using that money responsibly by buying gas and things of that nature, and it incrementally helps increase your credit score.
A lot of times people will say, well, I don't see how I'm going to prove my credit when I don't even, my little bit of money.
Well,
I'm doing good to pay my bills when I get them paid. You talking about saving? You talking about what you talking about? Where am I supposed to find some extra money? Does this take extra money?
Now let's be real. It takes money. Anything that you do, you're going to pay for. But sometimes we have extra money that we are not using responsibly. I have a client. She goes to every day at her job and goes to buy chips and pop. That's $2 or $3 a day where you could just go to, I'm not giving a major store, buy these things and take them to work with you daily. So yes, ma'am, there is a fee with it, and we're not asking you to go outside of your budget. But when it comes to credit and building your credit, we have to think about future opportunities. I'm at an age where my children are growing up and things like that. So I have to be credit worthy and prepared for any opportunities that's coming my way. So as an individual, sometimes we may have to make that sacrifice to go ahead and get ourselves credit worthy. Can I do this for 6 months to rebuild myself, to have that extra money so we can go ahead and reestablish ourselves? We'll better be prepared for opportunities.
Now you were telling me that there's a program where if you are a renter, your landlord, if they're willing to work
Yes,
with you.
we have it's called a rent reporting. And what it does is that your landlord sending a letter every month that you're paying.
A letter?
Well, it's through a website. It's easy. It's a program. Now, if you
Okay.
got a good landlord, they'll do it.
Okay.
And I know we're paying our bills and things like that. Some
But
of
it makes a difference because I know that when you buy a house,
Right.
and the mortgage company is filing a report,
Right.
and if you and that impacts your credit score,
right.
But a lot of times you're paying rent and it doesn't show every month on time for 5 years.
So I got some people 15, 20, and it has made a difference. My neighbor, she lived right next door to me, actually bought the house last year because they started reporting her rent. And she's paying $1,200 a month rent. She moved literally the next block on the other side of the street, and she was like, Charlene, I'm paying like almost 75% of what I was paying to rent. That includes her insurance and the taxes and everything. So,
But that would be a way that you could help start building credit.
yeah, build credit.
Improving your credit score.
And then that it's for a small fee. Everything costs, but let's start improving our credit score today with what we're already doing.
Anyhow.
And I can't afford the whole package, but I am paying rent. And I think, can we give numbers on here?
Yeah.
I think it's less than like $25 a month for the rent reporting.
Okay.
And then if you've been there a long time, they can go back 2 years.
Okay.
So then
You can show a 2-year
a
history.
2-year history.
And that will make a difference
A
if you're trying to
large
go buy a
difference.
car, if you want to stop paying rent, you
Right.
want to
A
buy a
house.
house,
Yeah.
it makes a difference.
And
What about like with the utility companies? Do they report?
I'm not sure if the utility. I don't. I right now there's not a program for the utilities,
Okay.
but let's start where we can with the rent, and then let's be real. Detroit is building, so let's be prepared for any opportunities coming our way. They have all these housing opportunities, business
Yes.
opportunities. They say we on the rise, so let's rise ourselves up to be ready for the opportunities that's coming our way.
Do you know what is considered to be a good credit score?
It is 680 is okay. You want to be at 720.
Seven.
If you at 720, 750, 750 to 800 is excellent. So if you get up there to
Well, what's the
750,
maximum?
I think the maximum is like 820.
Well, I guess 800 would be okay.
Right. So that's considered like good, excellent credit. You're pretty okay. And then now, let me tell you a secret about good credit. Once your credit score gets so high, they don't care how much money you make because they know you're responsible. So they're going to take the opportunity. I have clients, they don't never, when you go in there, how much you made, show us your bank statement. No, I have a client, he goes to buy houses with an S. Look, write his name, this is what I want to do, because they know that he has good credit. He's older, he's like 60 something years old. You pay your bills, so here you go.
All right. Okay. So basically, what you're saying is a good credit score can offset a not so good income
Yes, it can.
because you show
You show
responsibility.
responsibility.
And that's what the companies are really concerned about is how
Responsible
responsible
are you? Are you credit worthy? Are you going to pay us back?
are you going to buy it and take the money and walk
Walk
off
away.
and they never
Right.
receive it? Yeah.
Yeah, those type of things are all, when we don't think about that, you don't know how they look at us.
Okay.
So since we don't know how they look at us, we're going to be prepared for when they do look at us by having a decent credit score.
All right. How early can a person start working on improving their
You
credit
can
score?
start today. You can start tomorrow. You can give us a call at 313-868.
Okay, just get that so fast nobody can write it down.
313-868-0000. That's 313-868-0000. And then you come in and we can talk about where you are and what you do. Now, me, I'm not a credit attorney. I'm not going to act like I know everything about the law, but we do work with credit attorneys to help you build your credit. I'm just the agent coming here offering you this particular opportunity, and there's a business opportunity with it as well. So while you're building and maintaining your credit, you can make some money off of it. Like me, my children like to shop online. So there is a online portal where it's not breaking the bank, I'm getting a few pennies. But I'm paying myself for what they already do. And then even with myself, while I'm building my credit and maintaining my credit, I'm getting some residual income that's helping me to maintain and add to my bank.
Okay, all righty. It's all so important. I've known of people who have lost job opportunities because of credit. They said, well, I've been laid off. I haven't had a job. How was I supposed to keep my credit up?
Right.
And one of the things that I have learned in trying to assist people and myself is that sometimes while your bill may come on a certain date and it doesn't line up with when your check comes or your income, you can call companies and rearrange the billing date.
The billing cycle, and then there's something that's called grace. So call and ask for your grace period. And then technically, most companies have once a year they will delete and refund your fees that you get. Most banks, if you get like the late fees and things like that, if you just call and ask, they'll reverse that.
They won't make it a habit,
They
but
will
every
make it a
now
habit.
and
Right,
then.
every now and again, they will do that for you, especially if you're a responsible individual. So it's all about being responsible in what we're doing, and then, everything, we don't care why. We just want to know why we're not fixing it.
I think it's important for people to at least find out. I
Yes.
mean, because it's advised that you get your credit score at least once a year.
Yes. And you can TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. They have to give you your credit report free once a year. So even if you don't want to get into the program or call me, at least pull it and see where you are, and then let's look at it and see if there's something that can be worked with and be fixed.
Now, is this something like, okay, say I pull my credit report, and there's 3 or 4 things on there that I don't know anything about, can't understand why it's there. Can I go to your service to get that straightened out, and then once that's done, I can say, well, I thank you, and I'm gone. I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
you know,
you're not
there's
locked.
not
You're
no.
not locked in for life.
Okay.
And it's like it's at any point in time you can pull. The reason I got into it was because one of my clients, he makes good money. He had a six-figure contract come up, and he had an industry vendor that he owed money to that he didn't know it because it was on his credit report. And the criteria for getting this particular job was that you couldn't have any blemishes on your credit report. So for less than $1,000, he lost over six figures. So we're not locking you in. When you get to the point, if you had a 580 now, you're just on a 620, then you pull out. It's not a life program. It's just to get you where you're satisfied and stable. You know your goals. You know what you want to do. And can't nobody make you do anything.
That's so true.
But we're just saying be prepared for your opportunity when it happens.
But thinking forward, because a lot of times when our young people, any young people, go to college,
Yes.
they get inundated with all these credit
Yes,
cards.
credit card.
Everybody and anybody sends them these credit cards. And as a student, it's not uncommon that money is tight. It may be the first time you really had to manage your
Your own
own
money.
money.
Right.
Is there part of your service if someone has a child that's getting ready to go off to college? Can they bring them in and maybe educate them in advance as to the do's and don'ts when you
Well,
get to college?
what I would do for them is I would plug them into our Ultra credit score. It's just a portal where let's say they go get $1,000. And if mom ain't sending you no money, how you gonna pay this back? And then we'll say and we'll plug it in, and you can see how to pay this back if you're willing to pay it back, and I can do that for them. No, we do have a financial literacy program for the youth.
Yeah.
And then not only that, we have a scholarship opportunity with financial literacy where your child can get like 25,000, whatever they qualify for within the scholarship program, just by going through the financial literacy program.
And I think that's so critical because
Yes.
a lot of times the parents don't know what to teach. Okay, so they're not actually not all that sure that they're getting that type of educational exposure in school.
Right.
And just stepping out at age 17, 18, it would be nice if they were aware. These are the pitfalls.
Right.
These are the things you should look out for.
Yes.
Just because you can flash 6 credit cards, that may not be the best
Best
thing.
thing to do. And then we like to I have my cousin, my second cousin had to come home because he went in debt, and then educating and what's important, and it's a lot that goes into credit and how we use it. And unfortunately, a lot of us that are older, we made bad decisions when we were younger. So we're just saying, let's get it together now. When you're reaching that 50, 60 point, you're thinking about retiring, let's make sure that we are credit worthy because the worst thing that can happen is that we're retired, we're on a fixed income. Now we need our home repaired.
Yeah.
And we don't have the money for that because the income is fixed. But we have the credit to go ahead and get it so we can put that little small piece of monies that we owe into our budget. You know. Yes,
Now
ma'am.
tell folks again how to get in touch if they want information. We're going to open up the lines. I might have time for 1 or 2 questions. But how can folks get in touch if they want more information, especially for the training for the young folk, anybody actually, on how to manage your finances so you don't get in a hole in the first place, and how to repair your report, and to find out if there's some stuff on there that just should be taken off, and we just don't know how to get off the
Yes, ma'am.
report.
You can reach me at 313-868-0000.
Say it one more time.
Three
Slow.
one three 868-0000, and we can help you with some financial literacy.
All right, we have a caller. Hello, caller.
Yes, good afternoon, Judge. How are you today?
Thank you for calling in.
You're welcome. And to the sister, how are you today?
I'm wonderful in yourself.
I'm doing just fine. I love what you have presented on Judge Deborah Thomas show today
Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
because so many people do not know about credit report and how you can get your credit restored. And with that being said, I would like to ask you, if it's okay, Judge, would you be willing to come out to my organization and tell some of this to some of the people in my organization?
Oh, yes, ma'am, I'll do you one better. What I'll do is when I come, I'll bring an expert with me.
All right.
Oh, okay. That'll be perfect. And with that being said, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Because
for
Thank
I've
you.
learned a
calling
lot.
in.
Have a
Thank you
wonderful
for
day.
calling
You
in.
welcome. You all have a wonderful day.
Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Okay, bye-bye.
That and you know that's not a bad idea. That's something that the churches can do. And I think another thing we need to stress was we've talked about the young people,
Mhm.
but I am aware that there are people who are becoming of age where they can go into a senior citizens apartment
Yes.
and they no longer want the responsibility of trying to keep a big house,
Mm-hmm.
a little house either. And when they get ready to apply, their credit is checked in order to qualify, even
And
if
to
it's
move.
a controlled rent situation. And I don't want to say control because that's a legal term, and we don't have rent control in Michigan. But if it's the
Like a
rent,
subsidized program.
rent is determined based on your
Income.
income,
Right.
but you still have to have the credit.
Credit to get into the apartment.
And there are a
Number.
number of our people who are senior citizens or and want to downsize, and they find that they can't get into these apartments because of different things that are on their credit. And like you said, some of that may just come off.
I mean, with less than, I say less than a year if people want a time frame. And it can just come off and you can be helped. And then that way, while you're getting your credit together, you can be packing up, taking your time, and then you're credit worthy to move. So give us a call at 313-868-0000 from the baby to the senior and let us help you get your credit repaired.
I think that's wonderful. I want to thank you for coming in
And thank you for
today.
having me.
And I'm gonna take a couple of your cards because I know some folks that I need to. Okay, y'all need to check on this now.
Yes, ma'am.
And sometimes people are hit by surprise when they find out, especially when someone has stolen your
Oh,
identity.
my goodness.
I've been through that nightmare. So it's important, and it's important that people start as soon as possible
Yes, ma'am.
because it's a big difference when you're trying to buy a car and you got to pay 8% or 16%.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
All right, and it impacts not just your car note but your car insurance.
Oh, we're not going to talk about that one.
Okay, so I am Judge Deborah Thomas. I want to thank you for tuning in today. I hope that we gave you information that was helpful. And as always, I love you, Detroit.